What if the life you're living right now is not being shaped primarily by your circumstances, your luck, your background, or even the people around you? What if the invisible force creating your reality every single day is something much closer than you realize? Something that has been with you since the beginning. Something that influences every decision you make, every opportunity you notice, every relationship you build, and every dream you either pursue or abandon. That force is your mind. Most people wake up every morning believing they're simply reacting to life. They think they're responding to events, solving problems, dealing with challenges, and trying to survive another day. But psychology suggests something far more fascinating. Human beings do not experience reality exactly as it is. Instead, they experience reality through the lens of their beliefs, expectations, assumptions, memories, and mental habits. In other words, your mind acts like a filter between you and the world. The life you see is not necessarily the life that exists. It is the life your mind allows you to see. Imagine two people losing their jobs on the same day. One person sees the event as proof that life is unfair and that success belongs only to other people. The second person sees the exact same event as an opportunity to reinvent themselves, learn new skills, and pursue a better future. The circumstances are identical. The event is identical. Yet the outcomes may become completely different. Why? Because their minds interpret the same situation differently. Their beliefs create different actions, and those actions create different results. This process happens every day, often without conscious awareness. One of the most powerful discoveries in modern psychology is that human beings are heavily influenced by subconscious programming. Many of the beliefs that guide our lives were formed long before we became aware of them. During childhood, we absorb messages from parents, teachers, friends, culture, and society. We learn what is possible, what is safe, what is dangerous, what success looks like, and what we believe we deserve. These beliefs often become so deeply embedded that we stop questioning them. We simply accept them as reality. A child who repeatedly hears that they are intelligent may grow up approaching challenges with confidence. They learn to see obstacles as puzzles that can be solved. A child who constantly hears criticism may develop a completely different perspective. They may hesitate before taking risks, fear failure, and doubt their own abilities. Decades later, both individuals may still be living according to stories that were written in their minds long ago. The most remarkable part is that many people never realize these stories exist. They assume they're seeing the world objectively, when, in reality, they're seeing the world through the invisible script running beneath the surface. Consider how often your thoughts influence your actions. If you believe people cannot be trusted, you may keep emotional distance from others. That distance can prevent meaningful relationships from forming. When relationships fail to develop, the belief appears confirmed. You conclude that people are unreliable. But was that reality, or was it the result of your expectation shaping your behavior? Psychologists call this a self-fulfilling prophecy. We often create evidence for the beliefs we already hold. The mind predicts an outcome, behaves in a way that supports that prediction, and then points to the result as proof that the prediction was correct. This mechanism operates in every area of life. It influences careers, finances, relationships, health, and personal growth. Someone who believes success is possible tends to notice opportunities that others overlook. They take action more often. They persist longer when facing setbacks. Their belief does not magically create success, but it creates behaviors that increase the probability of success. Meanwhile, someone who believes failure is inevitable may avoid opportunities altogether. The difference is not simply external circumstances. The difference begins with perception. Neuroscience offers fascinating insight into why this happens. The human brain receives an overwhelming amount of information every second. Processing all of it would be impossible. To manage this flood of data, the brain acts as a filter. It determines what deserves attention and what can be ignored. This means that much of reality never reaches conscious awareness. Your brain is constantly deciding what you see, hear, and focus on based largely on what it believes is important. Think about buying a new car. Suddenly, you start noticing that same model everywhere. The car was always there, but now your brain considers it relevant. The same principle applies to opportunities, challenges, and possibilities. If your mind is focused on scarcity, you may notice every obstacle while overlooking potential solutions. If your mind is focused on growth, you may notice opportunities that others miss entirely. Reality has not changed. Your awareness has. This explains why two people can live in the same city, work in the same industry, and face similar circumstances while experiencing completely different lives. Their minds direct their attention toward different aspects of reality. One sees possibility, the other sees limitation. One notices doors opening, the other notices walls closing in. Over time, these perceptions influence decisions, and those decisions shape outcomes. The power of mental habits cannot be overstated. Every thought you repeat strengthens certain neural pathways in the brain. Just as a path in a forest becomes easier to travel the more it is used, mental pathways become stronger through repetition. If you repeatedly think thoughts of fear, doubt, resentment, or hopelessness, those patterns become increasingly automatic. Eventually, they feel natural. They feel like reality, yet they're simply habits of thought. The encouraging news is that mental habits can be changed. The brain possesses a remarkable ability known as neuroplasticity. This means the brain can reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Every time you choose a different perspective, practice a new behavior, or challenge a limiting belief, you begin strengthening new pathways. Change may not happen overnight, but it does happen through consistent repetition. Consider someone who has spent years believing they are incapable of success. At first, adopting a new belief may feel unnatural. The old story has been reinforced thousands of times. However, by repeatedly taking small actions that contradict the old belief, evidence begins to accumulate. Confidence grows. New experiences emerge. Eventually, a different identity starts to form. The person who once believed success was impossible may begin seeing themselves as capable, resourceful, and resilient. History provides countless examples of individuals who transformed their lives by changing how they thought. Many successful entrepreneurs experienced repeated failures before achieving success. Athletes often face setbacks, injuries, and defeats. Leaders encounter criticism and uncertainty. What separates many of these individuals from others is not an absence of obstacles, but a different relationship with those obstacles. They interpret setbacks as temporary rather than permanent. They view failure as feedback rather than identity. Their minds generate responses that keep them moving forward. This does not mean positive thinking alone can solve every problem. Reality includes genuine hardships. Challenges exist. Pain exists. Loss exists. However, the meaning we assign to these experiences often determines how we respond to them. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, famously observed that while circumstances can take much from a person, the freedom to choose one's attitude remains. This insight reflects a profound truth. Between an event and a response exists a space. In that space lies the power to shape our future. Modern life often encourages unconscious living. People consume endless streams of information, react to notifications, compare themselves to others, and move through their days on autopilot. In such an environment, it becomes easy to forget that thoughts deserve examination. Not every thought is true. Not every fear is accurate. Not every belief reflects reality. Learning to observe the mind rather than blindly obey, it is one of the most transformative skills a person can develop. Imagine sitting beside a river. Thoughts flow through the mind much like water moving downstream. Most people jump into the river and are carried away by every thought that appears. They become attached to fear, anger, worry, and self-doubt. But awareness allows a different approach. Instead of becoming the thought, you observe it. You recognize that a thought is merely a mental event, not necessarily a fact. This simple shift creates freedom. Many of the world's most effective performers understand this principle intuitively. Elite athletes train not only their bodies but also their minds. They visualize success. They rehearse challenges. They cultivate focus. They understand that performance is influenced as much by mental conditioning as physical preparation. The same principle applies to business, relationships, creativity, and personal development. Take a moment to consider the stories you tell yourself every day. Do you believe opportunities are scarce or abundant? Do you believe people are generally supportive or hostile? Do you believe growth is possible or impossible? These beliefs quietly influence your behavior. They determine whether you approach life with curiosity or fear, confidence or hesitation, optimism or cynicism. Many people spend years trying to change their external circumstances while ignoring the internal patterns producing those circumstances. They seek different results without changing the beliefs, habits, and perceptions driving their actions. Yet lasting transformation often begins inside before it appears outside. When perception changes, behavior changes. When behavior changes, outcomes begin to change. The process may be gradual, but its effects can be profound. Think about the most successful version of yourself you can imagine. What beliefs would that person hold? How would they interpret challenges? What would they focus on daily? How would they speak to themselves during difficult moments? These questions reveal an important truth. Success is not merely a destination. It is often the result of adopting certain patterns of thinking and acting consistently over time. Your mind is not merely reacting to reality. It is participating in its creation. Every belief influences perception. Every perception influences behavior. Every behavior contributes to results. This cycle repeats day after day, year after year, shaping the story of your life. The lesson is not that you can control everything. You cannot. Life will always contain uncertainty. Unexpected events will occur. Challenges will arise. But you can influence how you interpret those events, how you respond to them, and what meaning you assign to them. That influence is more powerful than most people realize. Starting today, become aware of the invisible scripts operating within your mind. Question beliefs that limit you. Replace mental habits that no longer serve you. Focus intentionally on possibilities rather than obstacles. Train your attention toward growth, learning, and opportunity. Remember that your thoughts are not simply reflections of reality. They are forces that help shape it. The life you live tomorrow will be influenced by the thoughts you practice today. The future is not created in a single moment. It is built gradually through daily perceptions, choices, and actions. Your mind is already creating the life you experience every day. The question is whether it is doing so by default or by design. And perhaps the most important realization of all is this. Once you understand the role your mind plays in shaping your reality, you are no longer powerless. You become an active participant in your own transformation. You stop waiting for life to change and begin changing the way you engage with life. That is where growth begins. That is where freedom begins. And that is where a completely different future becomes possible.